Alright, this is a video I want to make about the Samsung Galaxy Note 5 and the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus. And what's wrong with them? Well, the 4 gigs of RAM in them is currently useless. And how is it useless? Well, there's a video on Android Police, which I'll link below in the description, which is showing the Note 5, or it's actually an S6 Edge Plus, and a Nexus 6, and the guy's going through opening apps, going home, and then after a while he starts to go through, and then he goes back to some apps, and they take longer to open, or they take longer to load on the, what's it called, the Galaxy than they do on the Nexus 6. As we know, the Nexus 6 runs stock Android, whereas the Note 5 runs TouchWiz, which Samsung worked on definitely a lot, so there's no lag. You see in the video that it's very fast, but the Note users they want to do as much multitasking as they can. I had a Note before, and I did a lot of multitasking on there. I gotta say, LG's multitasking is kind of shitty compared to Samsung's. I'm just saying that even though I like my G4 a lot, but I just had to say that. Another thing is he's going through the apps, and the apps, whereas you press the home button, then you go back in the app, they immediately show up, no loading times, whereas on the Samsung, if you go, he had many apps on here, he would click on a part of the app, maybe a picture or a username in a social media app or something like that. It would show up, but it would show up to that screen, the exact screen he left off when he pressed the home button when he went back in, but it would show up a lot, or it would show up a couple seconds behind. Sure, it's not that big of a deal, but the Note 5 has 4 gigs of RAM, whereas the Nexus 6 has 3 gigs of RAM. I'm not sure, and it's actually slower RAM and slower processor. As you see, right as he opens the apps up, um, you can obviously see they take much faster to open on the Note 5 than they do on the Nexus 6, where this is actually saying that the Nexus 6 is still a great phone if you want to pick up an Android phone, especially if you don't like TouchWiz. Yes, there is people that still dislike TouchWiz. They don't like the look or the functionality of it compared to stock. Stock, I think, is probably one of the best versions of Android, if not the best. But Samsung, I believe the S6 had memory management problems too, where I'm not sure what the problem was. I believe it like slowed down the phone or something. I'm not exactly sure what it was with the S6, but on the Note 5, I'm only disappointed because it has 4 gigs of RAM, and Note users do a lot of multitasking, and they absolutely have to refresh after some time, which really kind of sucks and defeats the purpose of 4 gigs of RAM. And I hope they're probably going to patch this within a couple months. You'll see an Android update. Go in your settings, system update. Probably if you get to Note 5 in a couple months from now, this may be fixed, or the S6 Edge Plus, whichever one you want to get. This may be fixed, but for now, this is kind of disappointing, and I hope in a couple months, once this is fixed, Samsung or this video, whoever made this video, he goes back and retries this and sees which phone is truly faster, or not faster, but I mean like which can hold more apps in the background. You see speed test videos all the time where they go around a second lap, try to open the apps again, and some phones they take longer to open. Usually the phone with less RAM, such as the iPhones, they take longer to open, even though they take longer to refresh, even though they're already in the multitasking background. Which still, this is kind of disappointing. I hope that Samsung does patch this within a couple months, not even months, since Samsung's a big company, probably hopefully a couple days or weeks. And hopefully this happens, it comes to all the carriers, all the different variants of the phone, and by the S7 comes out, we probably won't have this problem, hopefully. And that's all I really had to say about this. For now, the Nexus 6 is still a great phone, and the Note 5 is an even better one, but that's all I really had to say about this, and bye.